December 15th is the new line in the sand, which is a very important day that we need to watch very closely. Also, the full list of everything Congress needs to accomplish between now and the end of the year. It's a very important list and agenda, so let's get into it right away and discuss all of the details. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you each and every day with all of the latest updates as things are changing very rapidly, and I want to make sure that you're staying tuned with everything going on and making sure that you're getting all of the money and benefits you're possibly eligible to receive as a result of these multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages, as well as everything else that's going on out there right now. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe down below and let's get into this right away. All right, so let's go through these in order in which I presented them to you earlier in this video. All right, so December 15th. Why is this date so incredibly important, and what does it actually represent? Well, I can tell you this much. This is the new line in the sand that was just drawn by the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. Now, just a couple days ago, I was out in a separate video talking about December 3rd and why that date is so incredibly important. Now, don't get me wrong, that date is still important. However, we've got another date stacking up, which is December 15th. Let's quickly talk through what these dates represent, and then we will go through the list of everything Congress has on their plate right now, which is a lot of big topics, and that what they need to accomplish between now and the end of the year, which is only a few weeks away. They've got a lot on their plate. All right, so let's quickly talk about December 3rd. So this is the date in which the federal government will be running out of money once again. The reason for that is the continuing resolution that they passed a few weeks ago only keeps the federal government funded through December 3rd. Then they need to pass either the new fiscal year budget for 2022 for the federal government and or a continuing resolution. Well, we can already anticipate they're probably going to be passing another continuing resolution to kick the can down the road for a little bit longer. Now, according to the reports I've been seeing, it looks like they're going to do this out until possibly December 17th or possibly out into February sometime. So it could be an extension of 2 weeks or possibly even a couple months. So we'll watch that one very closely, but that's something that's typically bipartisan. They usually do that right away. It's usually not that big of a deal. However, now let's quickly talk about what December 15th actually represents. So originally I was talking about in my video just the other day, December 3rd being a very important day simply because of that's the day in which the government, the Treasury, will be fresh out of cash. They're going to open up their wallet and it's going to be empty. Yeah. Anybody been there, done that? Yeah, I know what you mean about that, right? You reach in your pocket and uh-oh, it's empty. Well, the Treasury will be in that exact same position on February 15th. So originally, according to the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, she said that that date would be coming on December 3rd. However, according to what she's been looking at in the reserves of the Treasury and everything coming in and going out, things like that, she has now extended it out until December 15th. Now, that is the date in which the Treasury will be fresh out of cash. In other words, they'll be broke. They will have no more money unless they actually extend or raise the debt ceiling, which is an act of Congress. Now, remember the whole drama that went down back in mid-October? There was all this talk about extending or raising the debt ceiling, and there was all this back and forth between Congress and saying, oh, we're not going to help, and yes, we're going to do it, and all this back and forth. Well, eventually they came together and actually extended it out by $480 billion to keep the Treasury with enough money in their coffers until December 3rd, or at least until December 15th, which is when the new date has actually come out, according to Janet Yellen. So, according to what she's saying is basically the Treasury will be out of money by that date, and Congress needs to act by December 15th to avoid a major collapse of potentially the United States economy, because we will default on all of our debt, our bills, our obligations, right? So essentially, just like we have it on a personal level, whereas we, the people, can run out of money and we can default on our bills, we can not pay some of our obligations. Well, it's basically the exact same thing when it comes to the federal government. The Treasury is assigned to pay all of the bills and obligations of the federal government. Well, basically the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, is saying, we're going to be out of money. We won't be able to pay our bills. We won't be able to pay our obligations. by December 15th. So that's going to be a big day. However, according to Mitch McConnell, he sent over a letter to the president a few weeks ago, the last time it was extended out, the debt ceiling, and said, President Biden, well, it's up to you and the Democrats to do it through reconciliation. We are no longer helping as the Republicans. So it's all down to Democrats, according to what Mitch McConnell said, and the reconciliation process. Now, you might be wondering, why do we care? Why do we care about this? What does it have to do with us? Well, it's actually going to impact all of us if this actually goes through and the federal government does actually default on debts and can't pay obligations. Now, again, I know this is somewhat of a controversial topic, but I'm going to throw it out there one more time. And please don't be upset with me. This is just what I am seeing from all the reports out there. You're welcome to look it up yourself if you want to read more about this. But according to what the reports are saying, if the federal government and the Treasury runs out of cash, they're saying that there could be delays to payments for fixed income beneficiaries like Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, all of these types of payments. Now, don't get me wrong, you will still get your money. It's not like it's going to not come. It will still come, but according to the reports, they're saying there could be some massive delays to the distribution of these payments if the Treasury and the federal government is completely out of money. So that's all they're saying, is some delays could be happening. Now, again, this is what I'm finding in the reports. If you want to read more about it, you're welcome to look it up yourself. There's a lot of reports out there right now saying that if the federal government and the Treasury actually do default on their obligations and their debts, that possibly this is something that could actually affect monthly benefits like Social Security. But don't worry, your benefits will still arrive. They could possibly be just delayed, okay? So that's all I'm saying here. So anyway, I hope that makes sense, but that's what I'm finding in accordance to these reports that I'm finding out there right now. So let's quickly run through the list of everything Congress has on their plate that they need to accomplish between now and the end of the year. It's actually a lot, and they have a lot going on right now, a lot of major agenda issues. They've got a lot of big things on their plate right now. All right, so number one, the House of Representatives will be passing through this stimulus package, otherwise known as the reconciliation bill, anytime between today, tomorrow, Friday, over the weekend, something like that. The House of Representatives will be passing that. It then moves on to the Senate, where Chuck Schumer has said he wants to get it fully passed by Christmas. So that's number one. That's about $2 trillion, or just under $2 trillion. Next, we have the NDA, which is the National Defense Authorization. Now, that is something else that the Senate is currently working on right here, right now. They're currently working on this, and this is something that they need to get done here over the next couple of weeks. Something else that needs to get done. Next, the continuing resolution, which we talked about earlier. They either need to pass and agree upon the new federal budget, as in for fiscal year 2022 for the federal government, or pass yet again another continuing resolution so that the federal government can stay funded and open through the end of the fiscal year, which would actually be through the end of September 2022. Or they just have to do the continuing resolution, which, again, just kicking the can down the road. They also need to figure out this whole debt ceiling issue. Remember that? We just talked about that. They need to figure that out as well. Now, they did get the infrastructure bill. Remember, that's the stimulus package number one out of all this. The infrastructure bill, that was signed into law by the president just the other day. So that's done and over with. We don't need to worry about that anymore. But these are some of the major issues that Congress has on their plate right now, and it's massively going to impact a lot of Americans, so that's why we need to watch all this stuff very closely. They've got a lot on their plate, and the closer that this reconciliation bill, otherwise known as the stimulus package, gets to Christmas and the end of the year, maybe, like I said in a previous video, maybe they'll just have a little bit of holiday joy in their spirits. Hopefully they have such a thing. And they will actually issue a fourth stimulus check, otherwise known as, at this point, honestly, let's just call it what it is. It's a survival check at this point, just like Congress has called it previously in the past. So we've got a lot going on right now. We can only do our best to continue reaching out to Congress and urging them to do what is morally right now, which is to help out the lowest income and fixed income beneficiaries of Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, and no income by issuing a survival check. Don't worry, I will continue doing everything I possibly can to get out to all these people in Congress, or at least those people who are the most influential, like Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Chuck Schumer, the president, any of these people who can listen, and really urge them to issue a fourth stimulus check or survival check focused on the most vulnerable and highest risk individuals, Americans, those people living on a small and or fixed income from all of the benefits I just mentioned. So we're going to continue doing everything we possibly can, but it's kind of interesting how everything's coming down to the end of the year once again, as it did last year, just like that. So hopefully these people will actually have a little bit of holiday spirit in them to actually issue a survival check to the millions of Americans who are struggling so incredibly badly right now. Either way, I'm here for you every single day. Please leave your comments or questions down below. I do my best to answer them as well as read as many as possible. By the way, I get between about 5,000 and 7,000 comments across my entire channel every single day. So I do my best to read as many as possible. If I don't get to you, I apologize in advance. I'm doing my best, okay? So thank you so much for understanding. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Go back and check out some of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. And I'll continue to be here for you going forward with all of the latest updates as they are being released. There's a lot of things going on right now. Things are changing very rapidly, but don't worry, I'm here for you as your one and only daily advocate. Enjoy. Thank you so much. I hope this video helps you out and helps you better understand what is actually going on out there. There's a lot, as always, right? So don't worry, I'm here for you. Enjoy your day. Subscribe down below, share the videos, and I'll catch you again later in the